Hey everyone, my name is Allison, Allie for short. I'm just a normal high school student and have the most normal, boring life of anyone I know. All the other kids at school got to do exciting things during spring break. Sarah B traveled to Prague with her family, Kara got to go to Cancun, Priyanka went skydiving. The most interesting thing I did was clean up my dog Lulu's poop. But it wasn't anyone's fault but mine. Sure, it's true, my parents couldn't afford to take me on fancy trips like that. They only ran a restaurant together and all their money went back into the business, and they needed me to help out after school. But the truth is, they would have let me do anything I wanted, but I was too scared. I could never go skydiving or even flying to another country like Prague. My whole life, I had been scared of everything, and I was sick of it. Just once, I wished I could go on an adventure of my own. But I had to look at everyone else having a great life through Instagram. And sometimes I couldn't even look at their photos because my stupid phone was constantly acting up. I was telling Kara all this while we picked up our food at lunch, and she said, "Well, if you're too scared to do anything, you can't really complain about not doing anything. Not to be harsh, but it's your life. You're the one who has to live it." You know what, Kara? You're right. The next time I get an opportunity to do something fun or crazy or scary, I'll do it. With a newfound determination, I shook Kara's hand, but when I sat down, I sat on my phone and saw that it was dialing some random number. I held it to my ear, but there was only a strange static sound, but it seemed to be mostly okay. After school, my friend Kara and I were at my parents' restaurant studying for the history test. I don't know why you don't like this place. I'd be so happy if my parents had a restaurant and I could eat free breadsticks every day. You're eating free breadsticks now. A man came into the restaurant just then. He wasn't like our usual customers. He had a nice suit on and dark sunglasses. It seemed like he was looking for someone. His eyes landed on me and I looked down at my textbook. It was none of my business. Kara nudged me, and when I looked up again, the man was standing right in front of our booth.
"Agent Dark, I'm Agent West. I need you to come with me."
I stared at him, dumbfounded. Was this a prank?
"Please, Agent Dark, we don't have much time."
"My name is Allison."
"No real names. In case one of us is captured, the less we know about each other, the better."
My heart was pounding. Was this guy for real? None of what he was saying made any sense. "Agent Dark and I were just finishing up. She's ready now." What? I couldn't believe it. Why would she do that? She kicked me under the table and looked at me as if to say, "What are you waiting for? He looks like a Greek god." "Would you excuse us, sir?" She dragged me up and pulled me to the corner. "This is your big chance. Adventure, no fear. You said you would take your next opportunity, remember?" "I didn't mean this. I don't know anything about being a spy or fighting. I'm boring, remember? That's the only thing anyone knows about me. And guess what? It's true." "Yeah, but that's not what you want. This is it, Allie. You either go and do this thing with this random, beautiful Greek god of a man, or you stay boring and safe forever. Remember, in life, nothing changes unless you change it." Maybe she was right. It was time to do something crazy, to finally step out of my comfort zone. I stood up. My mom glanced over from me from the kitchen window. "Are you leaving, honey? Why don't you and your friends take some breadsticks with you?" I grabbed the sticks and nodded to Agent West, who led me out of the restaurant by the hand. A black car was waiting for us outside. We both got into the back seat, and the car rolled out of the parking lot. I couldn't see the driver. There was a partition separating the front of the car from the back. Agent West breathed a sigh of relief.
"We were so glad to finally get your signal. We thought you were captured, or worse."
"What signal?"
"The access code. You called in yesterday. The numbers you put in. We know it was you. Don't try to back out now."
I thought hard. What code? What numbers? But then I remembered yesterday when I was eating lunch in the cafeteria. I sat on my phone. The butt dial. That was totally random, though. What were the odds that I sat on my phone in just the right way to dial a secret number and enter the correct 16-digit secret password? Maybe I should buy lottery tickets. Agent West was quiet for most of the ride. I had a million questions, but I was afraid if I opened my mouth, the truth would spill out, and my adventure would be over before it started. Finally, the car slowed down and parked. I stopped and stared as I got out. We were in the circle drive of a mansion, not one of those fake McMansions either. Like a real, gigantic, beautiful palace. It looked like royalty lived there, or at least a really wealthy athlete. Agent West removed something draped over a hanger from the trunk and held it out to me.
Put this on.
I ducked into the back seat and changed as fast as I could. Thankfully, the partition was still up and the windows were almost as black as the paint. When I emerged, Agent West's jaw dropped. I was in a glittering blue dress. I didn't have a mirror, but judging by Agent West's expression, the dress must have looked pretty good. Everything all right? He pulled himself together and we approached the entrance.
Your mission is to distract the ambassador. That'll give me time to crack the safe and steal the device.
Distract him how?
I'm sure you'll think of something.
If anything, the inside was even more gorgeous. Spiral staircase, crystal chandelier, guests in glamorous attire all around.
That's the ambassador over there.
A small man with a mean, pinched face sipped champagne by himself in the corner. I don't think I can do this. I'm just a student. I'm not trained. Agent West took my hands.
Don't panic. They wouldn't have chosen you for this mission if they didn't know you were capable. Besides, I believe in you.
I gulped. It was nice to hear, but was it really me he believed in, or just the person he thought I was? Taking a closer look at him, Agent West didn't seem to be much older than I was. But how could a high school freshman be an international spy? Maybe he just looked young. Then it clicked. I knew what I had to do to make it through this mission. From this moment on, I would pretend to be the person they thought I was. If she was brave, poised and confident and quick on her feet, then I would be too. I nodded to Agent West and he slipped away. I grabbed a glass of champagne from a passing server's tray. I started walking, took a sip. I immediately spit it out. Gross. I set the glass down on another server's tray and walked right up to the ambassador. He stared at me grumpily. I smiled back, but I didn't know what to say. Was I supposed to introduce myself? Suddenly, I was mad. Agent West had left me here by myself with no preparation and no plan. At a strange place surrounded by strange new people? How did I even know he was who he said he was? Maybe he worked for the bad guys. Who were the bad guys? I stopped and took a breath. I didn't think he worked for the bad guys. Remember, I told myself, you're not Allie, a boring, ordinary freshman at Claremont High. You're Agent Dark, international spy extraordinaire. Breadstick? I offered a breadstick from my purse. The ambassador's angry face broke into a delighted smile.
Don't mind if I do.
A little while later, Agent West appeared and pulled me away from the ambassador. I had done such a good job charming him that he seemed disappointed to see me leave. He even wanted me to meet his daughter. Agent West and I snuck out onto the balcony. The city lights sparkled in front of us.
I got it.
I didn't even know what it was, but I was happy the mission was a success.
You were incredible tonight, Agent Dark. I couldn't have done it without you.
That made me feel even better. Like maybe I wasn't here by mistake, and I was capable. Can't you tell me your real name? You already know mine.
I'm Zane.
Nice to meet you, Zane. The sounds of the party were faint. Here on the balcony, it was quiet. Just me and Agent West, Zane. He peered into my eyes. My heart began to pound. He leaned in to kiss me. An alarm went off just before our lips met. It was a deafening wail. There were shouts inside, people scrambling everywhere.
We have to go.
He hopped off the balcony railing onto some vines climbing up the mansion wall. I froze. That didn't look very stable. I looked down at the distant gravel below. Then I heard more shouting inside. It sounded angry. I glanced through the sliding glass doors. 2 burly security guards noticed me. One pointed right at me, and they hurried toward the glass. I turned back to Agent West. He held out his hand. The security guards were almost there. I took another deep breath. Remember, Allie, what would Agent Dark do? Just as the security guards crashed through the doors, I took Agent West's hand and leaped off the balcony. He tugged a vine loose and we slid all the way down, the ground coming up fast. We swung safely onto the circle drive, landed on our feet. The black car was already waiting for us. We dove into the back seat, and the driver hit the gas hard. We sped off, leaving the out-of-breath security guards in the dust. My adrenaline was pumping. I looked over at Agent West, and we both burst out laughing. Later, Agent West walked me to my front door. We stood on the steps, both quiet and giddy from our close call.
Thanks for everything, Allison. You're even more impressive than your reputation.
That's right. Take that, Agent Dark. Call me Allie.
Good night, Allie.
Good night, Zane. When I finally went back to school the next day, I felt a new sense of confidence. All my fears were gone. While Priyanka and Sarah B talked about their adventures skydiving or going to Prague, I had to keep my mouth shut and just pretend like I was jealous. They would never know that I got to be a secret spy. At least Kara knew. And I looked amazing in that dress. Speaking of, that dress was too nice to wear only once. I decided to go to the dance with it. When I got there, everyone was buzzing in the halls. I had no clue what all the commotion was about. And then, there he was, Zane, in a tux and a vest.
You look familiar.
I glared at him. I wasn't sure I was in the mood for jokes when I hadn't heard a word from him in weeks. You know, you could have texted or called or sent a flying pigeon or something.
I know. I'm sorry I just disappeared like that. I had to go radio silent until the heat died down. I was afraid if I contacted you, I might put you in danger.
Yeah, well, I like danger, don't you know? I've jumped off balconies. I think I can handle a phone call. As mad as I am, I have to say, I'm glad to see you and I'm happy you're safe.
Well, I appreciate that. I know I'm probably too late, but I wanted to ask you, just in case.
I waited, nervous. Did he need me for another mission? I wasn't sure I was ready for that kind of excitement again so soon. Especially considering we'd almost been caught last time. What would have happened to me if I hadn't taken the leap off that balcony? Jail? Worse? I was okay with life being a little boring sometimes.
Do you have a date for the dance?
That's one mission I was happy to accept. I do now. Together, we walked in like some power couple from a magazine cover or something. I finally felt like I wasn't just some scared, boring girl who had to get all her excitement from watching my friends' vacation videos. It's true, a high school dance may not have been as glamorous as an evening undercover at an ambassador's house, but it didn't have to be, because now I knew I didn't have to be afraid. I was much braver than I ever believed. Facing my fears made me realize I can do anything as long as I don't let it stop me. While we danced and I kissed Zane, finally realizing I had the power to change my life and become the person I wanted to be. Even without all the action, I knew I had no reason to be afraid anymore.